Hello, this is Greg Ricker, Caribbean Hemp Gringo. This is our 10th podcast. We got 10 out right away because the powers to be wanted to see 10 podcasts to see if we could do something more involved and getting the feedback. And we've got tons of views on the 9 podcasts that we did. We don't have like much commentary, like likes and comments and so forth, but the views, I guess, it's my understanding, it's not my ball of wax here, but we're we're getting enough views, so there's enough traffic so that we could do some more things. So that's kind of fun. But the thing is, what we're really trying to do, and we can't lose sight of the fact that we're goofing around a lot. But the thing is, and I have to remind like my people that we're trying to do hemp for hospitals. We're trying to do CBD for old people. We're trying to do CBD, bring awareness for children, with epilepsy, and now they're talking Parkinson's. So if it can help, and in the environment, I mean, the benefits to mankind are just overwhelming. And we really don't want to lose sight of that, even though we are goofing around a lot, and we want to have fun doing this, and we want to create an awareness, and that's basically the name of the game, to create awareness, and to also bring joy and wisdom to people and make people get involved. And I remember I was talking to the surfer guy who just won this big event, the Masters of Surfing, so to speak. And he wrote a book, and I think the name of the book is called Action. And it really is something to have something like industrial hemp and have the farms. Our farms are state of the art. They're beautiful. People are blown away. And people think, like, when I talk about this hemp, like I'm just some little farmer, by the side of the road. But we're huge. I mean, we have a big facility. We have, a lot of folks that are involved in our organization and distribution and marketing, and also we have foreign investors. We are looking for some. We have some stock left because the gentleman died, and we haven't been pushing it because we're kind of holding it close to our vest and stranger danger. But I do need, what I do want to build, like, more of an organization where I have a bit of a think tank, and I've worked for think tanks before, and they're great. I mean, it's like stuff comes in from right field from, I call them, different types of thinkers, and it goes a long way. It really can help. So I'm going to put together a team. I mean, my guys that are involved in this are, they have their other jobs. They're lawyers and um, accountants and so forth, CPAs and so forth. So, but at the same time, they're, as we get rocking and rolling, which we are. I mean, our accounts payable was almost 7 figures. So we this year, so we're busy, and we're micro cost. That's our whole theme, micro cost. And as my friend Ren yet said at the last podcast, he said his life is micro cost. So, anyways, we're gonna move into more of a formal setting now and studio stuff, and that'll be good. And the progress of industrial hemp is just I've been getting feedback where bills have gone in front of governments all around the world now, and that's kind of was the name of the game, to make sure that the world gets involved. And when the government start getting involved, as much as we all hate government work, they they definitely validate our efforts. And with our tobacco growers and coffee growers in the banking industry in these islands, those are the strongest, in agriculture. I mean, agriculture is is huge. This is what's interesting that was pointed out to me yesterday. I don't know if I don't remember. I don't think Ren said it, but there's 400,000 agricultural um, excuse me, agriculture workers in the Dominican Republic, 400,000. There's 5 million that are unemployed agricultural workers. So there's an army. That's an army of unemployed workers that could just divulge themselves of, whatever plant that they were working on before, and engulfing themselves in industrial hemp, and just make it their mantra. And I mean, the hospitals that they could just go to, not only in the DR but around the world. And I mean, all these poor countries, it's like, well, when you really get outside the United States, it's a total eye opener. And it's just amazing. It's amazing to me, and I travel a lot. And it's like in a world, with today's wealth, when you go to New York City, or you go to Paris, or you go to these beautiful cities, Venice, you name it, and you see people in $500,000 automobiles, and $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 worth of wardrobe, and $50,000, $150,000 watches, and then you get on a plane in 10 hours, you can see people that don't have arms and legs, and they're living in the street, and um, you know, unpaved roads, and they're all muddy and dirty, and it's and I'm not a crusader, that's for sure. I like nice things, but I work for them, and I go to places that are where you can make $1. And that's kind of the secret. You gotta get out of the place. But a lot of cultures, they don't leave their families, and that's their ruination. If you can't break away from your family and go find work, and go, find some type of separation that you're comfortable with, um, you're gonna have problems. You're gonna just stay in the same gerbil wheel. So, anyways, but our hemp project is back on the table in Congress. They're coming back to put CBD in foods. They're working on that again. And what's interesting, there's a lot of rebels that they're not waiting for the government. I mean, I've been in stores or little coffee shops, and they have CBD coffee, and it's right on the menu. So I don't know if they're waiting to get caught, or they're just, they don't care. They just don't care. So if that keeps expanding, that'll get traction, and it's great. I mean, people like it, and it gets them off the alcohol, to a large extent. A lot of people are, just jumping from the booze because it's too much, and they're vaping, and they're a much mellow existence. And as they always, the saying we used to have in college was, nobody ever gets thrown out of a bar for being stoned. So I don't know. Those days are 100 years ago for me. But um, this is really good. And what's really nice is, like, I have two boys, 25 and 27, and every time I turn around, they have someone in my nephew, who's a little older. They all have friends that are involved, but a lot of them want to grow marijuana, and we don't want to do that. And it's like the sole reason we don't want to do that is just because the scrutinization, um, with the government, and the visits, the chronic visits from the authorities to check on your plants and to check on your security. And when you travel, or when you ship, for example, they're all over you. It's like, so we do industrial hemp. All we have to do is put the report in the bag. We literally have vacuum packed bags, 10 bags, and at a time, because we do 10 pounds at a time usually. And I have like 10 guys, and they each drop it at a different post office. Not because we're doing anything wrong, but because we don't want to draw any attention. And there's a lot of idiots out there that don't know the law. They're not educated. They think it's marijuana, and they got to investigate, because they're too stupid to realize, here's the documentation. Here it is. And I enclose the articles. I enclose a copy of the bill, the 2018 Farm Act. And we moved it pretty good. We have one snag. We had one. They pulled us in on the island. We didn't even get off the island. See, typical. The island people don't read. They don't educate themselves, but the United States is pretty much up to speed. So once you get in the States, you're good to go. And Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, so we hope that we're okay there. But all in all, this has been a heck of an adventure. We're going to go to probably, we're going to go to France. The TED Talks is up in Scotland, over to Scotland, where they want to do a bunch of TED Talks, which is going to be kind of fun because there's like 6 of us that are in the hemp business. And then we have Estes Park, and we have Las Vegas. We have all the trade shows. I can't even, tell you how many trade shows. And I don't really go to them because I was, when you're on Wall Street for a long time, you get pitched all these deals, and a lot of people come with a story or an idea, and I'm gun shy of being labeled like that. So, but now I have basically 100,000 square foot of greenhouse that's loaded with plants. We have distribution. We're passing our test, our inspections. And we have a market. We have a price. So all we do is wait for the harvest and ship it the heck out, and move all the money to corporate accounts and get people, that have helped us paid. And though we don't have any real big cost, we pay as we go. So that's the name of the game right now. And we have my son is out in Nashville. One of my sons is out in Nashville for the film festival, and I'm gonna, get him to help pitch because he's a high profile kid, and so is my other kid. He's over in Paris, and he graduated a year ago or so, and he's high profile guy. He hangs out with a lot of name droppers. So if we can get this, get the next generation, that's the thing. You really you got to hit the group that has the energy, and you hit the group that can approach officials, and the officials don't get offended. They can say what they want in a way. They can be frank. And whereas if I go and I speak to these people, they get offended, and they instantly will turn on me. But if I was a 25-year-old kid, they'd laugh and appreciate the ambition, and they'd want to help. And to be honest, a lot of people want to help me, and I'm glad for that. And but it's always comes with a caveat. There's always something in the back door, and everybody, when new people come to the organization and they're very excited about a possible this and a possible that, and they wonder why I don't get excited. Well, 8 years ago I got ecstatic, and then it's been downhill from there. And I'm always like, well, we'll see. So that's that. So anyways, next week we're pretty excited. We're going to have some cool people on, some guys that are farmers. We got a couple actors that hopefully we're going to go see them because we're going to all go to this convention together in Vegas. So anyways, have a good Sunday. And well, I don't know what day this is going to air, but take care. Adios.